Hi, how's it going? I'm Matt and welcome back to SuperCard Models. We're working on the Skyline build today. And what I'd like to do is start off by working on this windscreen area. So in the last video, what I did was I kind of adjusted and recut and refit this windscreen surround piece. And that's looking much better than the previous version that I had on there, but it's still not quite right. You can see that this area here, this part up at the top of the A-pillar is just a little bit wider than it is at the bottom. So I need to get that perfect, need to get that right. And also I need to make and cut and fit somehow, I'm not quite sure how yet, kind of a thin like weather seal strip, like the strip that would hold the windscreen in the real car. I need to attach that somehow. And also I'd quite like to do a first cut of the windscreen out of the same sheet of clear plastic that I used for the side window. So yeah, I'll get started making those windscreen parts and I'll see how I go with those. Okay, fantastic. So the windscreen is in and that went on really, really well and it looks good. So I'm happy with that for sure. So in terms of the construction, it just ended up being pretty simple. So I had the kind of the black cardboard surround piece that I had there already that I'd made previously. And then I cut the windscreen itself out of my clear binder cover sheets of plastic. That's the same stuff that I used for the side window. And then what I did was I cut out of thick black cardboard the kind of windscreen surround or like trim piece, and basically kind of sandwiched the windscreen itself between the two cardboard layers, between the trim piece and that black lower surround piece. And that worked out pretty good. The next piece I want to make runs up the front of the A-pillar here and then across the top of the edge of the roof like that. So that'll just be a single strip of card that I'll cut out, paint Bayside blue and glue in place. To get the exact shape right though, I'm not quite sure how I'll do that. Maybe I can just kind of trace it somehow directly off the build and yeah, get it fitting just right that way. So I'll start making that piece now and see how I go. Alright, it's the next morning, and as you saw last night, I made and fitted this finishing piece that goes across the top of the roof and down the front of the A-pillar, and that turned out really nice. I did make one small mistake where I made it just slightly too short, so I had to add like a small kind of filler piece there at the bottom. I've like fixed and altered my plans so that next time that I make that piece, it will be perfect. But yeah, and this is still like the development build basically, so I'm not too worried if I make the odd little mistake like that. But otherwise, yeah, it looks really good. To determine the size and the shape, I basically just used the old school kind of like tracing paper and traced it out with a pencil kind of method. Hey, you know, if it works, why not? So yeah, that was all good. Next, what I'll probably do is make the kind of finishing piece that goes around the inside of the wheel arch here. I've actually drawn that piece already. I drew that a week or two ago when I made these rear quarter parts. So all I need to do is really just print that out, cut it out of Bayside blue sheet, and yeah, glue that on. Nice, so there we go. That just finishes off that wheel arch area, makes it look a lot tidier. So yeah, awesome. That was pretty easy to fit as well. So good stuff. Next up, I think I'll move on to this rear window and kind of top of the trunk lid area, try and work out what the heck's going on here. You can see that this kind of window surround piece that I made quite a few videos ago, it's no longer fitting properly. Like this edge here is just completely wrong now because I'd made the C-pillar and roof structure after this piece, and yeah, it just no longer works. So I'll take this off and work out how I'm going to construct and make this area look a lot better and look more realistic like the real car. So kind of got a few ideas in mind as to what I might do, but I'll make a start and yeah, see how I go. Alright, so I've just done a first test cut out of paper of this new piece. You can see that it's supposed to be like cut from a single sheet, single piece, come up both C-pillars around the top of the rear window, and then it'll come down and it'll form the top of the boot lid like that. So that's the general idea, and I think that's pretty good. But the main problem I have right now is the shape of this rear bottom part of the C-pillar that I've made previously isn't quite right. It curves in too far. You can see that it kind of starts to point in that way under this piece, which it shouldn't. It should follow the edge of it. And it's also, so I've got like that kind of vertical line at the end here. It should actually kind of taper down to like a point. So that shape isn't right. I'm going to have to modify that, unfortunately, which I never like to do. I never like to modify a part that I've already made and fitted to the car. But if it's not right, then I'll have to do it. Yeah. So this piece needs a few more tweaks and changes anyway. It's just a little bit long, and this top corner, these top two corners, they should actually be rounded at this corner here. So make a few tweaks to that, maybe cut a new version out of cardboard for the first time, and then I'll see about making some adjustments to this section of the C-pillar here. Alright, so that's a little bit better than the previous version. It's starting to get there. You can see, obviously I still need to make the adjustments, as I said before, to this area of the C-pillar so that this new part sits properly and fits right. But yeah, you kind of get the impression. There'll be obviously another final layer of Bayside blue over the top of this. It won't be black like that, but yeah, get the idea. But that's it for this one, unfortunately. I've run out of time. Just a bit of a shorter one today. That rear window area will need a whole bunch more work to get it all perfect and in shape, but it's moving in the right direction, I think. I think what I might do is carry on with starting and building the rear bumper though. So check out next week's video to see how I get on with that. And yeah, as usual, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.